and I'm here with EFL Irwin from DeFi Land. Irwin, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, doing well. What about you?
It's been a great day so far. Holiday season, a whole lot to do.
Yeah, it's some interesting season because everyone is trying to relax as well as work at the same time. So it's a tricky one, but so far going well.
Well, being in Web3, it's one of those things that's kind of like holiday season, non-holiday season. My background's in marketing, where it used to be like a big deal when holiday season came up. But in crypto, it's we never have a dull moment. It seems like every quarter there's going to be some other major thing happening as an industry. And I'm curious, how did you guys fare after the whole fallout with FTX and SBF and whatnot?
Yeah. So yeah, about the holiday stuff, indeed, you can never slow down because whenever you slow down, like other people are keep
Yeah,
building, and it's kind of hard to kind of in competition. It's really hard to slow down in Web3 because as the industry is new, everything it just goes and moves really fast. And on the other side, yeah, since FTX thing, I guess it was pretty a roller coaster of different things. Like a lot of people lost the money, like the personal
mm,
savings. People even trusted FTX more than Phantom or different wallets as well because of Slope. I guess Slope wallet,
oh,
the
that
problem they
created the
had.
first distrust.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I have talked with a lot of people, our users as well, who like heard that Solid was doing this logging thing, so they thought that the Phantom or any other wallets were also not really great to keep the money, and they didn't really have the ledgers as well, as ledgers are not
Yeah.
really cheap, as well as they are not really great UX as well. So they thought that FTX was the best thing, even better than the banks or the cash in the at their home. So a lot of people had the money and they were just doing a lot of they had like a lot of different thoughts about FTX. They were like the idol kind of company
Yeah.
where which is the goat and everything. And yeah, we had this happening. It was pretty hard. We have a lot of users who were the retail users who came to Solana, like 90% of those people were using FTX for sure,
Oh
because like
wow.
FTX was really easy to take the fiat on ramps, fiat on ramps. It was really fast. It was really nice, the working platform. But because of that, a lot of our users also get affected. Like they were keeping their funds there, and like as soon as they
Yeah.
lost that, they they just don't have any more interest in the Solana or the games or anything. So we have seen some kind of shrink of the user base as well because of that event as well, and you cannot blame them. I mean, it's like whenever you retail, you cannot really require the retail to just do the self custody at the highest levels, right?
Yeah.
They are just the
Yeah.
first time users. They are just trying to explore. They just see
And it
like
can be
this FTX.
intimidating too to try something
Yep,
different.
it's hard
Man.
for them. So this FTX thing was really big strike on the retail adoption, and it was really big damage on onboarding the masses for sure. I guess like
Yeah.
like damages are kind of the stealing the money was really big, but I do believe that 10x or 100x more damage was done on the adoption side because like I have heard people like in my friends and relatives saying that the Solana got hacked, Solana blockchain got hacked, and because like they don't know
They
what
just
they're
don't know.
talking
They don't
about,
know the difference.
they just know that they lost the money, so like they don't care about like what they got hacked or like what happened at all. So it's really easy to spread the FUD, and unfortunately these things happen. But yeah, hopefully so we in other different projects as well keep building like you as well, and I believe like that's the main thing. If you just these things happen, so we should hope for the best, but gonna be ready for the worst as the FTX thing happened. And yeah, unfortunately a lot of projects lost their treasury as well. They had their money and the salaries there. That's really big problem. But yeah, I guess it's a wild jungle in the crypto right now, so you just have to just fight your way to the top.
Yeah, it's something where it's been interesting talking to different projects. Some folks had either payroll with FTX, or then maybe they're token investing with FTX, or a lot of retail just just getting bugged. I know for our side, we've been thinking about how can we support the community as much as possible, and like what can we do together collaboratively. And that's part of what inspired this podcast. Is we thought, well, what if we talk to other builders? We were inspired by Breakpoint in Lisbon, and we thought the same way that we just kind of geek that online. But on top of that, we started doing like offering either free service for anybody affected by FTX, like for token vesting or payroll, if they were
Yes.
affected, and then 50% off for any other Solana projects. I'm curious, as an ecosystem, as a community, did you guys do anything different or have any ideas for like maybe how you're responding to FUD in your community, or any initiatives perhaps you guys are testing out to be able to help bring as much calm as possible to the people still here? What kind of community initiatives have you guys been focusing on?
Yeah, first of all, it's a really great thing that you have done. The offering can help to the project and the people. Offering your service to those people is really crucial because a lot of people are really struggling on those stuff, and that kind of service is like that's what the keeps community going, and like what kind of combines kind of unites the different communities together. So yeah, that's really good thing. On our side, what we have started to do is that we started to work on the educational part. So I do believe that the self custody is something that
Yeah.
we should be taught really well. And still today, there are not much great tutorials or educational kind of content out there. Like in our game, it's kind of easy to understand how everything works, but it's not really enough. Like not everyone comes to the game who kind of plays the game. So we decided that we will be doing and composing a lot of different content on the web that are gonna be just out there on the Medium, on the YouTube, and everything. So we're gonna be going to like what is the wallet, how that works, what's the LP, the farming or the swapping, and like doing all those stuff to kind of make sure that people understand what they can do without like different third parties and centralized entities. So we're gonna be so currently we're preparing the content and the website for that as well, and I believe after in January or late January, early February, we're going to be starting these episodes with different Solana projects. Would love to have
Nice.
you there as well together to kind of
Okay.
one by one, for example, there was different projects collaborating and tell the community what they can do with this protocol, and like what, for example, if there's a Streamflow, what are the streaming payments, for example, how they
Yeah.
work, what it actually does, why it's cool and why it's safe and everything. So and we would just love to kind of do explain like on 5 style tutorials, so they
Yeah.
just understand like uh, because majority of the retail people are just the people who don't know like these complex words, and they don't know like how this LP formula of the constant market mechanism works, and like everyone is trying to make this thing really hard to understand. So we're trying to make that easy to understand, and yeah, we're gonna be starting this kind of series of the educational content coming from the early 2023.
I love that you guys are taking this initiative to focus on the fundamentals. I'm curious, whenever it comes down to what you've seen from new user adoption, primarily retail traders, what problems do you hear that they usually face when they're kind of transitioning from, let's say, they've already gotten into crypto, they're coming from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they start to wander out into the deeper end of Solana? I'm curious, what does that sequence usually look like to you? Is it typically getting onto a Phantom, trying out a swap, diving straight into gaming, NFTs? I'm curious, what on ramps do you see into the industry based on your community?
Yeah. Yeah, our community is more focused on the gaming. So the majority of the people who are coming to DeFi Island are, so we have two different people right now coming to DeFi Island. The one is who just like the game. They like to play the farming games at some time point in their life. So they just want to try this new game and also learn about the crypto stuff. So those people are mainly interested in the game. So they just, so in our game, you don't really have to get any funds. So you can play for free. So just as long as you have anything on the web, like even Google account or just a Phantom or anything, you can connect to the file and play the game and explore. And then we're trying to kind of tell them that, hey, you can actually get some money. Like we're using the MoonPay to kind of get fiat on ramps, and you can basically deposit the money as much as you wish. Try to just swap. We have this explanation, like kind of achievements as well as kind of some kind of different stuff to kind of tell them how to do different things and kind of give them some kind of incentive to try different things. We have the yield farming, we have the staking, different things so they can try out and kind of get the glimpse of what it actually can be in the future. And like if they just decide to invest with their money and how it works. And the second part is that people who are, as you have just mentioned, like who have done like they hold the Bitcoin, for example, they just have traded this at centralized exchanges several times, and they want to learn more and kind of get kind of known to the different DeFi protocols, or like NFTs, or the trading and everything. So those people are coming to DeFi as well, because it's everything is combined in one place, and they can do
Yeah.
all those stuff in a really good UI. I would say, I would not brag on our UI, but the UI and UX is pretty decent in our game, and those people are also trying to understand through our game how everything works.
Yeah.
But the main problem indeed is kind of managing the funds. So they do not really. So they everyone tends to kind of basically ape into different things without learning more. Like they do not really
They don't do
love
their
to
own
ask.
research, huh?
Yeah, like they do some stuff and then ask. That's like the I believe
Mm,
the nature of humanity. Like
yeah.
they don't
Guilty.
care about they just, for example, provide the liquidity to something, and like after several days, whenever the price gets down and they'll have lost the money because of the impermanent loss, they
Oh.
then wondering like why my money is not really much.
And
And
then they
then we're
learn
trying
about
to explain.
impermanent loss.
So that's a at least they're learning, but in a hard way. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
the reason also for this initiative is to kind of make sure that people can see the content before they come to the game, and they, for example, try to different things. So our number one goal right now is to somehow make sure that people understand, get some information, even some basics, like maybe not the how this formula works of the, for example, rebalancing or stuff, just to
Yeah.
understand that this is like liquidity pool. Price can go up, price can go down, you can lose the money. It's not just always win-win situation. So like we're trying to kind of get those kind of stuff ready. And yeah, especially in this bear market right now, to be
Yeah.
honest, like the users are not that diligent anymore. So it's like not everyone is throwing the money like at everything. That's a good thing. So people are more
That's
careful what, yeah, what they're investing money in. But in the bull market in like last year, it was so hard. Like we had so many different customer reports that they don't know where their money went, they don't
mm,
know like what this happened, and they were just trading or doing the yield farming, and they just were losing money because of the different impermanent loss and stuff. So that's
yeah.
that's something to work on for sure.
I wonder whenever you're creating these systems to help educate retail and newer folks in the industry, you guys have an incentive model. So that kind of tells me you really have a strategic process to how you're iterating or creating these new features. What is your process that you guys take for assessing if a strategy is working or not working? Like, are you seeing how many people are opening like a document or an interaction inside the app that you're tracking, or how do you guys determine like where you should be making optimizations in your company?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a good question indeed. So we have been doing the analytics of the data since the beginning of the project. So we have always been just doing the decisions were always data driven. We have not just always just it's we have a vision for sure. We execute on some stuff, but like we always improve our plan and roadmap based on the data, whatever our users are doing, wherever they are struggling, and so on. So we have improved like our, for example, if we take the market building, we had reassembled the market UI several times based on the clicks at
Yeah,
separate
that's
buttons
fantastic.
and everything, because sometimes like at the first it was really hard to understand. We also understand we thought it was really cool because we have built that, so we thought that the UX was perfect. But then we saw that not everyone was clicking on this specific button
Yeah,
of to kind of set the slippage. So then we analyzed that and we removed that and just kind of redesigned everything. Then we have done several times for different kind of UIs and also the mini games we have. So we're trying always to balance the game. It's not that easy. As more different products you have, like we have our own NFT trading marketplace, we have the staking, we have marketplace for the tokens, like many different things. So as more different things you have, it's even harder to balance everything. So we're trying to mainly analyze the data and just do basically just do everything based on that. However, it's I wish more projects were doing that, because
yeah,
because of that many of the people. So the thing is that user experience has been ruined at the beginning, and people are like expecting you to also have a bad user experience because like all the other projects are having the bad user experience, so they
unfortunately, the
got
standards are
used to
low.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the standard is really bad. So as you're improving, people do not really like. So we get the mainly negative feedback, but after it's like after pushing it for several months, then people are liking that. So it's like we have to fight back our community sometimes. But like if you ask our community, everyone gonna confirm that we have taken a lot of suggestions from our
that's
community. We
powerful.
have suggestions channel, and we're adding all the time new different features based on the suggestions. Like every single month at least one feature is added based on suggestion as well. So that's, I believe that's something that we always think of, and yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
It brings up a really good point that is crucial, especially for indie gaming, which Web3 we can kind of associate ourselves with, especially now that a lot of the more just blatant shield type games on away, and now people are focusing back on what makes a good game good. Why is it engaging? Why do people play it? I was interested to see the way that you guys do both Google authentication and Phantom. That tells me you're making it to where it's as accessible as possible. Whenever you're taking in feedback, taking in suggestions, at what point do you and your team typically say, hey, this is probably something we should prioritize, or this is something we should put on the roadmap, or how do you decide, like, hey, this isn't something that's that important right now? What does that process look like amongst your team?
So yeah, we have team of 27 already. I'm like 30 if we also count the part-time employees. So to be
Awesome.
honest, like we have pretty linear like the horizontal structure of the company. Like me, I'm not the guy who is like the boss or controlling some stuff. We're mainly like always, we have this kind of big whiteboard. We're always thinking, like we're always getting the suggestions and kind of all the comments from Discord every single day. We put that on our whiteboard, and at the end of the day, we're going through all those stuff and kind of thinking which makes sense and which does not, because some suggestions are really out of the box and like it's not really something you should really think of, because it's just some random guy who just joined yesterday and he has some demands that we want to do. So sometimes we just kind of filter out these suggestions, and then like we're always all the team members there and just talking together, and we have
Team
pretty
effort. Wow.
good. Yeah, like, and that's some people think that like having a meeting with certain people is not really possible. Like a lot of ideas are strong, but do really have really structured meetings all the time, so it's pretty productive, and we're always thinking about that, and we are putting the good suggestions, I would say, filtered out suggestions in our backlog. And then every single, like on the Mondays, we're kind of planning with the team leads of the game development team, backend team, the blockchain team. We're planning like which could be prioritized this week and which makes the most sense. And also we have kind of small community of the testers who are really dedicated testers of DeFi, and there are 60
Yeah,
people in there who are like big
awesome.
whales of DeFi, and who are the people who are like playing the game for 10 plus hours per day. And
A
those people
day,
are,
really?
yes,
Wow.
we do have people who are just really grinding DeFi and a lot, like playing the harvester games, the fishing games, shooting
Huh.
games, which we do really appreciate a lot. And those people are really helping us to test different features before it goes publicly live. We also ask like, hey guys, we're rebalancing the game this way, what do you think? And they
Wow.
always provide their feedback, and we're always having this kind of working kind of flow with them. And because of that, these community members see that we value their opinion as well as we value their feedback. So it's really healthy relationship with our community, and I believe that's also something that keeps us growing in a good way, because sometimes we had so many ideas that we wanted to launch, like for example, just we're going to be launching this thing, and then we ask the community, and like no one gonna use that, because it's just like we like the product, but like if the user's not gonna love it, it doesn't really make any sense. So we just sometimes have to make sure that the community is aligned with our roadmap, and I believe that's something that how we work and prioritize the features.
This is like a masterclass of community engagement for gaming. I appreciate you going through this. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about your year. What was something that you guys did, a feature that you rolled out, or something that you guys built into the platform that you found that the community especially loved, that you're proud of this year?
Yeah, I believe I would have to go with the most recent one we just launched 2 weeks ago. It was the forging. So forging is, to explain also what it does, is that you can split your existing NFT into the attribute NFTs, and then you can trade those, and also and then rebuild the new NFT with those attributes the way you wish. So just to explain, for example, imagine you have the Gen Ape Academy um, ape NFT, and you can actually split your ape into different attributes. So you get the head NFT, you get the monkey NFT, you get the cloth NFT. So those are kind of split in different NFTs. Then you can trade those and also rebuild the new NFT. For example, you could build red hat, red cloth, red monkey together, so it will be all red. So it's something you can really customize your NFT the way you wish. it's something that you can be proud of, and you can in our game even it has a different also meaning, because we have the, for example, for the gameplay we have shooting gun, for example. You can also have the good scope and a good
Oh,
barrel
wow. So you
or
got like
handle.
weapon upgrades and stuff too.
Yeah, you upgrade the
That's
weapon so
neat.
you get the better stats and you get a better outcome of the game as well. But also visually it's way more satisfying, and you can build all legendary NFT, for example. So it's something really cool, and within that use case we have already burned and soon will be burned like 25 million DFL tokens, which is
Wow.
pretty big amount. And people like, and I'm not gonna brag once again, but like from the user experience perspective, the feedback that we got was really amazing. It was pretty smooth, like the animations and everything, how the forging works is something that people are really loving.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe that the forging was something that people were really waiting for. We had a lot of negative comments as well, like they are really waiting for, and they why the team is delaying and everything. We were building, we just like it required a lot of time to deliver those. So
Yeah.
yeah, I believe it was something that we are really proud for 2022.
Well, that sounds super cool to be able to add that type of composability to NFTs within the game and make it to where you can actually use it to change your game experience. How in the world do you balance the mechanics for that though, to make sure that it's something that continues to foster a engaging game experience while also being able to, retain as much value, I guess, whatever that sentimental or whatever value that might be to a person or a user. How do you balance those two out as a team?
Yeah, that's something that we have a specific team working all the time.
Really, a
So the
full
thing is
team
that,
for it. That's amazing.
yeah, the thing is that any single change, as I have mentioned, we have four different mini games. We have which yield different rewards, which are based on five different attributes. Also the RNG. Also, we have our own marketplace, the trading, the staking. So everything, whenever you are doing something or changing something, you should always think of all those different features, how it will gonna affect those stuff, like how if the all in-game economy will be ruined, or
Yeah,
something will be overpowered and everything. So we are always doing the tests. So we have the testing environment where we simulate some different environments. For example, what if the reward was 100 DFL, and then what effect it would have on different things. So we simulate all those
that's
different.
fascinating. Do you guys use
Yeah,
Python or something and just like some
yeah,
ML simulation, or
yeah,
how does that work?
indeed. Yeah, we have a machine learning kind of. So our team has a kind of pretty strong background on the machine learning and data
That's
science.
awesome, man. I just
So
got bullish
we're
at AF right here. That's really cool.
appreciate that. So we're always trying to use the experience that we got from working in the big data and data analytics, and use that on our game. So we're trying to analyze everything. For example, whenever we're rebalancing the numbers of the rewards, we're always trying to rebalance, kind of see what was the average statistical player doing, what were their income, and what it would get if we do
Yeah,
this change, and then simulate on different NFT trading, what is gonna happen, what the volume gonna be if this happens, and everything. So we're trying to always see the future as much as we can. Not always the simulations are 100% as accurate, but it gives a lot of edge to us that we're not doing some really dumb upgrades or
yeah,
balances, because we also, whenever we do this, then we bring this data and analytics to the small community team, as we have just mentioned, and they also provide their feedback, what they liked, what they
yeah.
didn't like. We also take their kind of feedback and then do the new simulations and bring them again. And because of that, I believe like all the new different kind of numbers that we are coming with, or the different features, are always pretty much balanced. Like nothing has been broken so far. It's like could be some kind of rebalanced, but like
Yeah.
nothing has been really bad so far during the 2 years. So I believe that's the reason, is that we are really always taking our time to make sure the numbers make sense, and they adapt to each other.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've talked to a lot of game developers, especially in Web3, and one of the challenges I hear is that it is non-trivial to make a game balanced, even if it's a simple seeming game. It takes a lot. So it sounds like the solution is to just have a quant team internally, and then
Yeah.
you guys can front run whatever type of issues may happen through simulations. I'm curious, when you guys are running tests, I mean, that's really amazing. I love getting this out here because it kind of shows like the tools are available, the data is there, and you can do stuff with that. what type of timelines do you typically feel good about as a team when it comes to ideation to production? Do you typically see that you guys go through the entire build out flow in a month, a couple of months? I guess what kind of time ranges do you guys typically operate in?
Yeah, so this timeline has been always an issue for DeFi land, I believe for everyone, because
Yeah.
it's so hard to kind of give the exact timeline when it's going to be launched, especially if you're building something new that no one has done
Yeah.
before, because you don't really know what's going to happen, what's going to be feedback. Maybe you just bro, for example, we had this problem so many different times that we have this idea, we think it's really easy, then you go and you see that in the blockchain kind of transaction, you cannot really fit all these transactions
Yeah.
into one transaction. Then you have to choose between the UX, or you should split the transactions into different two parts. Then you
Yeah.
go in the back end and you see that it's really expensive to do this way. Then you have to come with a new structure. So it's something that kind of really hard to always think of before. And also, whenever you, for example, you have this new feature, I'm going to be talking about the forging again. So we had this forging idea in the August. So we thought that it's forging, it's awesome. It's not that easy, but it's all not that hard. So we're going to be building this in
Yeah.
a month, 2 month max. And then we started building that. And after some time goes, we see the market kind of sentiment shifts. So we have to adapt with that. So then we see that the blockchain. So we in one transaction we were planning to fit 6 burning transactions instructions into one transaction, and that was not possible. So we had to innovate on that part as well. So there was another problem. Then on the back end, we had to render the image in a real time. That was not possible super easily. So we had to build a specific service for that. We're using
No way.
the cloud kind of computing to kind of render the image of the new 3D asset in real time. So like everything
Yeah.
kind of seemed easy, but like whenever you go into details, then kind of something shows up that you couldn't really think of before. So because of those, we have delays. No one loves delays. We're trying to kind of take the overhead, like for example, extra 1 or 2 weeks whatever we think, but always we just have to just spend more time with when we're trying to kind of give realistic timelines plus a little bit delay, but like the real timeline always turns out to be even bigger. So it's really hard to kind of somehow find the perfect the roadmaps and timelines. But I believe the main challenge and main thing that the project should be doing is to kind of adapt their roadmaps as the time goes and change the vision as the time goes, because the roadmap that we had in 2020 for
Yeah.
sure is something totally different that we have in 2022, because we thought that FTX was the biggest partner for DeFi, and we were planning a lot of stuff with them. We had a lot of giveaways with them, and also a lot of marketing
Wow.
campaigns coming in November. Actually, we have spent a lot of 3D assets as well, building on designing animations for them as well. We had some
Yeah.
crazy stuff coming with them, and then this happened. So you cannot really plan the future, so you should really adapt. So I believe that the sense of adaptation and the skill of adaptation is the most important skill for the Web3 founders and the projects indeed.
But yeah, it's definitely hard to be deterministic on timelines when certain variables are unknown. I think that's one of those things that's really impressive, especially this forging feature that you guys made. It sounds really cool. I gotta imagine you guys must have a long list of features that you could do, things that your community is asking for, things your team wants to do. What was it about forging that made you guys decide to collectively agree to build that out? And like, why was it better than the other things you were thinking about building?
Yeah, that's also an amazing question. I believe there are two ways that we think always. The one is what is when we know we have the feature, like if there is something really innovative that no one has done before, we always prioritize that, because we believe that being first to do something really cool is really awesome, and it's also really great for the community. Everyone loves that, so we're always trying to do that. But also we always take into account all the features that we have. We're always trying to make sure that the features order makes sense. So for example, if you launch forging and then you launch something that should have been launched before forging, it's really bad. For example, just to give an example, for forging is something that you can combine the attributes together, but we also have an idea that we want to be doing the fusion, which is you can combine different NFTs
Oh,
attributes together, and you get the higher rarity NFT. So if we have launched the fusion before the forging, it would not really make a sense because you need
Yeah.
forging to do the fusion. So we're always trying to plan ahead. Like for example, if you launch forging, with the forging you're going to be getting the attribute NFTs. Whenever there you have attribute NFTs, you can launch the fusion because people will be able to combine attribute NFTs and get the better rarities. And then this will cause the supply shortage of the attribute NFTs because a lot of people will be combining this fusion. And because of that, then we're going to be launching the mystery boxes for to get some attribute NFTs from the mystery box. And after that, we're going to be launching the mobile. So we have kind of plans to kind of make kind of this kind of the dependencies on one feature or another, which is pretty cool, I believe, because if you launch the different features out of nowhere and you just kind of launch them, and you have no purpose or the goal in the future, it's really hard to get the kind of attention from the users. But whenever you have this kind of straight line plan that it's so obvious that after fusion, after forging comes fusion, which will be also pretty cool, and after fusion it comes the mystery boxes and all those stuff. People are really loving that as well. So that's something that we're always trying to make sure that whenever we pick something new to build, it has an action plan going into the 1 year for sure. Because we have done a lot of stupid stuff in 2021 and 2022. We have just launched some random features that we thought was cool, but had no action plans going into the future. And we have learned from that mistakes because just one of examples is like we have launched this edit mode, for example, which gives you the ability to restructure your village the way you wish. So
Really?
we thought it was really cool, but we didn't really have any action plans for those. So the way it should have been have done is that we should have introduced the skins, for example, or the game
Oh,
objects. For example, spend 100 DFL and you get the tree, for example, or spend 200 DFL and you get this new house building. We didn't do that. We just launched this edit mode. People just rearrange their buildings and that's it. Like it's done. And we didn't really have any action plan going into the future. We have
yeah.
spent 2 months developing that, and people just did restructured their buildings for 2 days, and that's it. So I believe we should after that feature, we realized that we always have to have some kind of action plan going into the future
Yeah.
to kind of make sure that the features that we spend the time building on have some kind of purpose and the good kind of impact on the game going into the future. So that's something that we do right now.
Yeah. So standardizing the process, that it's not just what do we think a good feature is, but what do we think the best action plan is. It's almost like you're
Yep,
making a different decision in that way. You know,
agree on
I,
that.
um, I was wondering on the fusion side of things. Um, of course, you've got a lot of ways that you could engineer a solution like that. Being able to set up different components, how you integrate that with the game. When you're putting these systems together, how much of it would you say is creativity, coming up with like what can really happen, versus, let's just call it that more left brain analytical type thinking, looking at it more programmatically and considering the variations that can go out? Like, this is one of those problems I hear gaming projects, they might be in there to create a really cool weapons experience, but if there's not some element of trading, then it can make it tough for people to really interact and immerse themselves in it. So I'm wondering, yeah, how do you guys balance out the creative versus the analytical in these kind of things?
Yeah, that's also a pretty awesome question. Because yeah, we have seen a lot of people, and also we've been there that creativity. Whenever you think that the creativity is the king, then you just really create a lot of awesome things, but like potentially no one will be using that, even though
Exactly.
those are pretty cool. Like people will be, oh, that's so awesome. They're gonna use that one day, and then they're, oh, that was cool, and that's it. So you should really think
Yeah.
about the kind of retention and how to maximize the outcome of everything. But on the other side, we have seen a lot of projects, especially on the DeFi. We see that people are calculating the numbers. They are always thinking about the efficiency and everything, but they have really, really bad UX, or there is nothing new or nothing creative. So people just try. The only financial guys do those. So they just come, they just calculate the numbers, and they don't really love the product. So I believe kind of there is this really, really thin line between the creativity and the numbers. And the way we're trying to balance that is the process of the new features is always we're starting with the creativity. So we have this kind of idea channel in our team channel that we're always gonna incentivizing the people to come up with some good creative ideas. And if they come up with some creative ideas, we are incentivizing them in the team as well. So we're giving some kind of bonuses for that.
That's cool.
It's just about the creative ideas.
Right.
It's not about like if it makes sense. If you just come something that is cool, we're incentivizing that. So we have
Incentivizing
like
creativity. That's neat.
yeah, we have like bunch of different like it's idea channel. We have like hundreds of different ideas that are really really cool, and we love all of those. And then what we do like mainly we do twice per month, so periodically we go through those new ideas, and with the data team and there's the rebalancing team, and we're trying to somehow question this idea as much as we can from the data perspective or the UI perspective or the numbers perspective. So we're trying to kind of shit on this this idea as much as we can on the from the number side.
Yeah.
And after you can find some problem with every idea, but like the ideas that makes the least takes the least damage from our data guys and the team, we take those ideas and then combine the creative person who came up with the idea, their vision, plus our data vision as well. And then like this, for example, forging was that happened. So the idea, actually, it wasn't me actually who did the idea, but like I thought that it would be really cool if you could customize and rebuild the NFT you wish, and like then we like people came like our data guys as well, and like no one would pay if it was expensive, no one would do if it was really cheap, how we should actually monetize that. Like we had like a lot of different kind of chat about that, and after several months, it took a while, but we came up with pretty awesome solutions. So I believe I believe it doesn't really work the vice versa. If you start with the numbers and data team and then try to apply the creativity on top of that, it's something that we have tried but we have failed all the time, because whenever you optimize something from the efficiency perspective, then the artist or the creative guy is already limited to how they can be creative. So
Wow.
I believe creativity really needs the no limits. They should think as creative as they wish, and then like that idea could be limited and kind of structured the way that it makes sense. But in the other side, like if you put the artist in just the really small boxes and just tell them to be creative, that's
Yeah.
something that doesn't really happen.
You
So
can't poke them
yeah,
with the stick and hope for creativity to
yeah,
come out.
that's true.
Wow. Well, that's powerful to be able to have that kind of clarity, because I can understand the temptation, especially if you're a startup, you've got limited capital. You want to make the most rational decision possible, but then you've still got to have the creativity, the user experience. Why would people want to be interacting with this in the first place? It makes me think a lot about like at Streamflow. What we do is everything started from this idea of how do we help align incentives. Sometimes, unfortunately, they could be like two sides of the table: team versus community versus, I don't know, like investors or something. And the idea is to think about what type of incentive models, what kind of how can we structure systems in a way that can help people to sit on the same side of the table. And that's why we do token investing and we help with tokenomics and we do payroll and stuff. Now, you guys are one of the projects that have had a token for quite some time. So you could say, I would have to imagine, I would call you guys battle hardened at this point after everything you've seen and done. How did you guys strategize coming up with your token? How did you think about how to add value to the community and the use case of it? I think especially with the data team, I would love to hear the, I guess, overall high level strategy of how, maybe how you guys did it or how you would suggest for other game projects that are thinking about a token, how they could do it.
Yeah, I would suggest to look at our start and just do not that at all. So to be honest, the way the file land and DFL token was launched was super bad. And if I
Mm,
was just to change,
true.
go back and change, I would just change lot of things. So the thing was that I'm not gonna be kind of saying why who was the kind of bad actor in our case, but the thing was that we were trying to get the token as out as possible, as our advisors were telling us, because it's a bull market. So if you want to capture all this attention, you should really launch super soon. Just go. Do not think too much about the tokenomics. Just launch. Just pump and dump and those stuff. So they didn't say the pump and dump, but they wanted us to
Yeah,
pump and they would
essentially.
dump. So that's something that we didn't really think of, because we were so excited. We started building in May 2021, and then we won the
Wow.
hackathon. Then a lot of VCs reached
Timing, my
out.
goodness, May 18th with the crash.
Yes, it was pretty like awesome timing as well, because we had this whenever we wanted to on a hackathon, then like a lot of
Yeah.
VCs reached out. They were throwing the money at us. We were trying to find the smart money, but like we
Yeah.
got not really awesome people in our cap table. We got like some people that for example, Alameda was the first of the people who we had on the table, and also they were advising us how to do some stuff as
I
well.
heard they were ruthless. I mean, they would just dump
Yes,
the absolute second they could.
yes. Yeah, and the thing was that it was really hard for us to like. We didn't really have much of the expertise. Like
Yeah.
we thought Alameda FTX is that's so cool. Like Sam, we talked with Sam. That's so cool. Like he plays League of Legends. He's a so cool guy, and we kind of had this kind of
Ouch.
we
Yeah.
were trusting them so much, and like then new investors came in who were also not really awesome. Like we had such a limited time, and everyone was telling us that you guys should launch super fast, not really huge vestings. Do you want your team to have like 8 year vesting? Really? It's crazy. No one is doing that in Web3. So we were told like a lot of different lies. So as
Wow.
we kind of were building the game, we were building the token, we were building on Solana for the first time, we were raising the money, launching
Yeah.
tokens. So it was so many different things that we were under the stress as well. We should have performed as well. Then our entire team got the coronavirus, and like it was many different things that add up together. So we kind of got tricked, I would say. We didn't really think too much about the tokenomics and everything, and that's our bad. And we launched that with like majority of the supply was held by investors. Majority of those dumped on the retail in the first days, and Alameda also really manipulated the market making price the way we did not really were agreed. We had agreement that they would start the market making at the 10x lower price that they started, so they started 10x higher price, and they then like people just bought the token and they dumped on them. So it was something that we couldn't really understand. And but on the other side, we had so many different things to do to build the game, deliver the game. We had already private testing going. We had
Yeah.
2,000 testers. We had their feedback to improve. Like, and it was really hard to balance that time. So from that experience, we have learned a lot of things. Unfortunately, it was really bad for us and the token and the product itself as well. However, we have learned a lot of stuff, but in the hard way. However, we know like since then we have so many different collaborations, so many different communications with the relations with the different projects and the teams and the exchanges, and we have not been fooled once. Like we all like right now we know all the tricks in the books. Like we know how everyone tries to negotiate. We know
Battle
how
hardened. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Like there is like nothing that can harden us anymore because at some point we were $4.5 billion worth of the project, like for like a month. We were a unicorn for several months basically, and
Wow.
then like we have just also at some point we're like several $1 million company as well, just at the lowest point. So we have seen all the highs and all the lows as well. So we have pretty much it
Yeah.
was like the 2022 was the roller coaster of everything, like emotions, the dumpings. We
Yeah.
like the investor, like there were some kind of different kind of problems with the investors. We had like even some kind of confrontations as well with them. It was like crazy year. Like it was something that I would really never thought I would experience in my life. But
Yeah.
it also like took a lot of health points from our lives as well as a team. However, it was really interesting experience, and what I would have done for sure is the vesting and something that kind of the way they launch the token. So people should have the initial circulating supply should be controlled by the majority of the people and not the investors. That's
Yeah.
something that should be for sure changed. And having just 1 year lockups or just year and a half lockups is really bad. It's like
And
the
were they
project.
intermittent lockups, or did you do streaming so they wouldn't be
So yeah, we
dump
did
days?
like also we also listened to the advice and we did quarterly unlocks. I'm not sure. I mean, I believe
Oh,
it's the stupidest idea, the dumbest idea that has
ouch.
ever like it is
Yeah.
like really the worst type of unlocks to have.
I bet
Like
the community had a lot to say right before those unlocks. I can only
yeah,
imagine.
yeah, we had so many different kind of negativity coming. There's threats,
Yeah.
like people were just trying to kill us. They were coming to us, like, and it's like it's
Uh,
the only thing is that we did nothing. Like we have not sold a single DFL so far. That's the thing. Even though we were at 4.5 billion valuation, we even at that point we had not sold a single DFL. So that's something that the community was really angry about us. Like you dumped on us. Team is really bad. Team is kind of making us. It's a rock pool
they
and
can't
everything, but
discern the difference between team and a few bad active
yes,
investors that don't care.
that's the thing. At the end of
Wow.
the day, I do really take responsibility because it was me and our team who
Yeah.
actually let those investors in. We had those tokenomics. We were fooled by them at that point. So I believe that's something that was our bet. But since then, since 2022, we have started to deliver and build so much. Like literally, we have never stopped accelerating in the power and like in the delivery mode, and we have proved to our community that we are the ones. We're not just people who want to rug and run away. Because if we wanted, we would do that at the 4 billion valuation, and then we would just be like everyone in the team would be a millionaire. Like the thing is that we really want to deliver this product. We really think that. We are here to change the world and basically just make sure that DeFi is something really awesome and that onboards a lot of people. So that's something that our community now believes in. We are making everything. We are everything to make sure that people are just happy generally and love the game that we're building. And additionally, the thing is that like having this year and a half or 2 year lockups max is really bad. Not only from a perspective that you cannot really deliver a product from the ground from zero in a year that could
Yeah.
be super sustainable. So you just need some time. So you need like several years to build the great product. So you should have vesting for several years, because if you would not, the people will dump on you, and then you have like no reputation, you have no friends, you have no investors, which is coming along your journey. So taking your time to find the good investors is something for sure the most important thing, because in the bull run especially everyone is throwing money at you, and you might get like as we're coming from a startup industry, it was so hard to raise the money in the startups in AI and machine learning. Like it took like several months to do even close one deal. So we came in Web3 and in one phone call over Zoom we got closed.
Really? What a night and
We
day
were
difference. Wow.
uh, like we talked with Alameda, and like on the same call in 20 minutes we closed the deal, and it was like, are those guys real? Are they joking? Are they scamming us? So it was something unexpected that we didn't really have any experience of. So it was really weird. So because of those reasons, we got really excited, and we did a lot of mistakes. Like that's for sure something that I should really admit. But we have learned a lot from that. Since then, I do believe in 2022 we have not done any single mistake within the relationship with any other big entity than us. I do believe also we got really lucky that the Jump Capital was is also really big investor in DeFi land, because they have not also sold any DFL so far, and they are supporting us a lot, and they are doing the market making for DeFi and everything. So we got lucky on that part. But I do believe that kind of finding the people like Jump Capital, like the people who are not just the dumpers, who are the funds who have a really good reputation on themselves, and they kind of take care of their projects, is something for sure really important. But I do believe that people should talk about the bad investors, because
Yeah.
no one is talking about the bad investors. So whenever there's a new founder and he asks, for example, hey guys, is this really bad fund or is it good one? No one tells them that it's bad. So like they get tricked into those bad investors. I do believe that there should be more truth out there, and I believe people should be really known for the actions they do. So I do believe the bad actors should go, because if those people do not go from this industry, I do believe the crypto will be doomed forever. So hopefully there will be some more funds like Jump Capital and like
Yeah.
less like FTX and Alameda coming, and that will for sure make sure accelerate the adoption of the crypto and the blockchain.
Well, that's powerful. I know that one of the big things we found to help overcome some of these challenges is transparency. So that way, for example, a team can say, "Look, our team hasn't touched their tokens," and being able to prove, streaming contracts on chain makes it easier. And then even for investors to be able to showcase, like, it's tokens are being released in a fair and verifiable manner. I think especially being able to educate people on the difference. I think VCs they kind of get lumped into one. Just the big fat greedy guy you could think of in any TV show. It's kind of how people personify them sometimes, and it's like there is a necessary relationship between capital providers, builders, and community members. Like we all got to work together, and it's really cool to see the way that you and your team, because you definitely seem to be speaking well for your team. It's there's a humility that you have to be able to recognize when there's things that could be improved, and to admit that some things didn't happen very well. That's a quality that I don't tend to see as often, and when I do, I always do my best to commend it, because I think I forgot who it was, but it was Warren Buffett or some super big investor dude. He explained what he was looking for in company that he invests in. and one of them is a founder that is able to admit when he's wrong and is able to have a plan behind his actions. So the fact that you guys have a machine learning team that's able to run simulations to find out the best balancing for your game mechanics, that definitely sets a good standard to showcase that Web3 is not just all shameless cash grabs. It's not just pump and dumps and scam NFTs, but that there are builders that are actually creating real stuff. And DeFi Land is an example of that. One of the OGs here.
Appreciate that a lot. I do believe that transparency is something that you just mentioned. I believe that's a key, because if the people know that for sure, that you're not just the person who rocks, or you're not the person who is also aligned with the investor, that they take the money from them or something like that. I believe that's something that tells a lot about your project, and you have nothing to hide. So I believe like, that's people have seen, like our community have seen that our team always like kind of talks with them. We're always in Discord, we're always answering their questions, and I believe that's something that has those people, even those this crazy price action, they kind of kept with that, and they see what we're delivering, and they see why it's something really cool. So I believe kind of transparency and this community management, and answering all the questions, running from no questions away. I believe that's something that is super important for everyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad I got to learn more. I'm curious, kind of thinking about that perspective of a kind of looking at the newer Web3 gaming developer. What I've heard is that it's very challenging to find talent for Web3 gaming. Number one, because finding developers in the first place is already challenging, but to find people that have both that Web3 expertise and interest and the gaming skill set and background. I'm wondering if you guys have found challenges like this, or what you may have done to be able to attract and to nurture a relationship to help retain the talent that you do bring on.
Yeah, I do believe that we have the best approach to this problem, and so since the beginning in 2021, we it was when I was starting, I was alone, so it was super hard for me to find people, not only in the gaming side, but also on the blockchain side as well. Like, should I just hire a random guy on the kind of on the Upwork or the different platforms who claims to be the Solana smart contract writer, and he might scam me, he might run away. Like, there are so many different problems potentially that these people can do. So since the beginning, our philosophy was to kind of find the close people around me, like my previous co-founders, my different people, like friends who I know that they're the best, they're working at the top top companies, and we basically assemble a team that way, the like, core team members, like on the back end, on the front end, on the different sides, so that we are pretty sure that everyone trusts each other. We are pretty sure that we have been working before together for several years, we've been studying together. So that's something that was super important for our team, to kind of form a core team who is dedicated the same way as me, and who are the pretty trustable. If, for example, if not I'm not here, they can be trusted the same way as I am. So I believe that was something super important. And afterwards, for example, even on the blockchain side, we decided that instead of finding the talent, we would raise the talent. So we decided that we're gonna find the smart people,
Ballsy
like
move. I love that.
who have some experience, like they are really cool, like in their field. For example, the guy who is building the mobile games, who has done that for 10 years, he's like expert, and we're gonna teach them how to do the blockchain games, how to connect this blockchain backend APIs, how to do all these different things. We're gonna make him pay nothing, we're gonna pay him for studying, and then after like several months, as he's ready to do some stuff on the blockchain side, we're gonna hire him. So that's what we have done on the game development side, as well. That's what we have done on the blockchain side, on the Rust and the Solana programming side. We have got some people who are the people who are the smartest people in our region, our people who we know, like friends of friends, who are, for example, the top talents in the Olympiads, so who got the gold medals in the math or computer science and so on. So basically, we got those people. We told them, hey, just learn this. We value you. We believe that you're cool. We're gonna pay for you to learn this, and then just work for us. And we have no contracts at all. We have no obligations. For example, you have to stay here for 3 years, 5 years. We have nothing at
Really?
all. The only thing that we have is just trust to each other, and just the relationship that these people who we have kind of given the platform to learn, and we have paid those people. to learn. Those people value us as well, the back, because we have given them the time and the money and the educational platform to learn. And those people are really loyal to us as of now, right now, because of that. So I'm super happy that we have done that way, because I have heard a lot of projects who had the problem that the people are coming and going, like the talent comes, they leave for better money, better sales, salary. They just, it's really hard to kind of maintain and retain all these different developers, especially if those are the good developers. So I believe the way that we just went here, we have not lost a single team member so far. So that's something I believe we're super proud of, and we're just always just expanding all the time. So that's the way we're approaching this topic, and I would really recommend to anyone out there to use the same tactic for sure.
Well, it sounds like you've taken the concept of a strong team culture, and I could see the cynical perspective concerned on if you're paying somebody to train them up and to educate them, high that they'll leave immediately after. And it sounds like from your experience, it's because you invested into these people and helping train them, and not just I guess taking that first step forward to nurture that relationship. But from the sound of it, it looks like you guys take a lot of passion into what you do, and it's not just about kind of showing up and coding and finishing your day, but instead it looks like you have a standard of a level of enthusiasm, of a passion. I mean, to be able to break things down at the level of detail you guys do. I'm guessing when you're interviewing people, what indicates to you that you might be talking to a winner, and also what is it that tells you, tips you off, hey, this might not be a person that'll be a fit culturally.
Yeah, the ability, to be honest, like we are always trying to, so we're always trying to get hire the people who are friends or friends. So we're not
Intimate circles.
we
Wow.
are not trying to hire someone who we have no information about,
Some rando.
because whenever, yeah, whenever someone is a friend of friend, and for example, our employee brings a new potential employee, right? So our employee right now has a kind of stress on himself that if he brings a bad guy, for example, in our team,
That's
it's on
true.
him.
That's a
It's on
smooth
him. So
mechanic you built in. Wow.
yes, and
Yeah.
we always it's they don't bring anyone bad so far. Like literally everyone that they have recommended or have brought so far, we have hired them. Like we have 100% hiring rate, and we had no, like never anyone has suggested any bad person before. We had like two potential employees that we tried to hire, and we got rid of them because they were not friends of anyone, and those people were so irresponsible. They
And
were trying
the
to
two
be,
that weren't from a direct contact, that might be a
yeah.
not just some alpha, but that's a diamond right there you dropped.
Yes, and because like everyone tries to, and also the
Wow.
person who is brought, like the new employee, is not only trying to be cool because it's a new job, but he's also trying to make sure that the person who is his friend, who has trusted him that he's a great
Yeah.
developer, he also has to make sure that this guy has tell everyone in the, like, certain people that this is the guy, this is the person we trust, and he could be new employee. So he even tries extra to make sure that he's the really quality person who has to deliver some stuff. So that has worked so far really well. I believe could
Mm.
like for 2 years it is going really well. I believe it might have some problems in the future, but I don't really see any of those right now. But yeah, that's something how we built the culture and the kind of family kind of style in DeFi land, because right now none of us, like, everyone can sleep in the here, like in the office. Everyone can just take kind of bring the family members in here. They Everyone can actually just do whatever they do in the family. So I believe it's something that a lot of different Web3 projects are lacking. It's just like a feel of a family inside the office. So that's what we're trying to do.
That's really cool, man. Well, I just got two last questions to share some insights from your experience with the community. Number one, when it comes down to next year, what are you excited about technologically or within the ecosystem of blockchain in general? What are you looking forward to coming up in 2023?
Yeah, 2023 gonna be the year for DeFi land, I do believe, because so 2022 was entirely the year to improve the mistakes that we have done in 2021. I do believe so in the fundamentals, and I do believe right now, sitting at this point of the December 22nd, I do believe that we have improved those fundamental problems, and we are ready to just push to the different limits and just deliver the stuff that we should have delivered since the beginning. So 2023 is the time for we're excited for three different things. The one is the multi-chain. So we're gonna be not we're going anywhere. We're not going anywhere from Solana, but we're trying to bring even more people to Solana. We're trying to tell, for example, different chains that we're chain agnostic and we're trying to provide the best user experience to anyone. So it's not about just if you have a Google account, you can come to DeFi. That's like where we're trying
Yeah.
to do for everyone. And we're going to be moving to different chains, and it will be really smooth experience transferring from another chain to new chain. It will be like Solana will have its their own islands, and the new chain will have its own island. So it's going to be connected with the bridges, like the visual bridges, but it's also going to be the actual bridge. There's going
That's
to be some
pretty
different
cool,
ideas.
man. I like that.
We're going to be having some kind of, for example, whenever you're bridging your assets, you're going to be driving the car through the bridge, and you're taking your
What?
USDT from another chain to another from another island to different island. So we're gonna be doing all those cool stuff, which I'm pretty excited. The second thing
Yeah.
is the mobile game. The mobile game, the Fallen mobile game, is being developed right now. So we're expecting in a month, in 2 months, for example, for approximately to have the pre-alpha testing of the game. That we're gonna be showing the visuals and everything, because I believe the Defallen is perfect game for the mobile, because like everyone would love to kind of have like a really small farming game in the
For
phone
sure.
that's
Like
gonna be
Farmville back in
useful.
the day.
Yep. Just imagine farm wheel, but like you can trade it coins, you can farm the coins, and you can
Yeah, that'd be
just
cool.
manage the portfolio from that part. So I believe that's something that we are super excited. Our entire team is really dedicating their time, and really excitement is really at the highest as of now on that part, and we can't really wait to show some new progressions on the visual side, on the gaming side as well. That's something super excited for the 2023. And finally, I do believe this the thing is the educational thing, that we're going to be
Yeah.
trying to not only just provide the content on the web end, but also kind of create really inspiring Explain Like I'm 5 tutorials in the game as well, with a lot of animations, with a lot of exciting stuff that you, for example, you just tell the person like 80-year-old grandma, go to default in that app, and they will be able to do everything themselves without any additional help. So that's like the goal
Yeah.
for us. It's really the really awesome thing about DeFi is that we have several grandma and grandchildren who are playing together DeFi Land in our community. We have the people like the mother and the daughters also playing the game.
Really? Wow.
That's so empowering. That's so
Yeah.
wholesome that we they are also messaging us, sharing their drawings of DeFi and NFTs and everything. So we're
Wow.
so happy to kind of create something that people are so happy to use. And I do believe in 2023 we're gonna be making sure that we do our best to deliver all those experiences at its best. So 2023, I do believe, gonna be the year. All the bad actors, I believe, will be gone, like FTX, and all the bad investors will be running out of the money. So I believe it's gonna be good time to rebuild and restructure everything that was damaged in 2022. So I would really ask all the projects to just make sure that they do their best in 2023 and deliver as much as they can and build as much as they can, because it's going to be the year to show the world that we're here and that it's something super amazing that we're building.
Wow, that's a great answer. And the last question I have is just to gain some insights from your Spartan warrior days here in the ecosystem. Whenever things are tough, whenever you're stressed, overwhelmed, got a bunch of features, got to build, got some big decisions to make, whatever might be going on that week. What do you do to be able to bring people together, to stay focused, to stay energized? It sounds like you might have answered it in the last question, but I guess just to summarize it, what do you do to keep going?
So first year we were working, literally we were working, we had no day off at all. Like at the Christmas, at the New Year, literally at the 1st of the January, 25th of January,
Yeah.
25th of December, we were here. We were building
Full
like
on
and
shooting
working,
class.
like everyone, literally everyone, like
Wow.
every single team member, and that was something really cool experience as well. But like we got burnt out a lot, and because of that, the entire team had problems, mental issues with their families, with their loved ones, like friends, and it is something that people really don't think of. But like it's super cool that the developer is always here, always building, and always kind of here to talk with. But like those people also are the persons as well. So we're since then we decided we got the burnt out in 2022 summer. We're like this summer we were so feeling so bad that we just had to do some stuff to rest. And since then, what are we doing is that we're having the mandatory day offs. Like even though like a lot of people are used to work out every single day in the and come, they just want to come to the office. We're just not letting them in. So we're trying to make sure that people just literally have to take care of themselves. Some
Yeah,
people are like
you
are
gotta
really
force it.
kind of nerdy developers, for example, which is not nothing bad in that, but like you should do some different activities. So we're trying, for example, like we recent times we're trying we got really into the karting, like go karts, kind of racing, and I do believe that is really really amazing because you going at a high speed and driving really extreme, it kind of
Yeah,
takes the adrenaline and it just kind of really it takes all the bad energy out of yourself. It's just also really great to kind of don't think about the project when you're driving and you're competing and everything. So those sessions we're doing like for an hour in like several times a week as well, which is really awesome. Like it just gonna refreshes you a lot. You just gonna you feel like you're reborn, and that's something that we have done so far. But I do believe
yeah.
any kind of activity which is outside the office together with the team is awesome. But also
Those team
remember that
building activities.
yeah, that's for the team building, but for sure you should also take some time for yourself as well. Like you should also do some activities yourself without the team members, with your family, with your friends, for example. That you should just feel that you're the individual, you're not just the default, right? You're just not the avatar. So I would really recommend for the any hardcore developers to kind of take some time off as well for at least several hours. Go for the walk, go for the park, like just spend some more time outside, and do believe your efficiency will be going even higher than if you were just 24-hour in the office. So that's something I would really recommend everyone.
Awesome. Well, hey, Erwin, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your deep insights on what you've experienced and what you guys are doing at DeFi Land. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of Keep Calm and Build On. We'll have more coming up, and hope you guys have a great day, evening, morning, whatever it might be. Till next time.